is Landon Davidson, who on 3 has rated as a top 10 player, number 8 in the state of Colorado, as an interior offensive lineman.
Yeah, big old nasty guy. One of the top players in the state of Colorado. 6'4", 295, Broomfield, Colorado, and he's been here before, and Donovan Rayola really connects with him, and watch his film. He's a grinder, so he's that kind of guy that you want. And these are all these guys we're going to talk about. They're all for the 2024 class, and Landon Davidson, this commit here, made number 14 in the class so far. So yeah, like you said, he's the latest one out of the batch that we're all here over the weekend. Nebraska held their first Friday Night Lights camp, obviously last Friday night, and there was a lot of official visitors here. And, you end up with 5 commits out of all the guys that visited, and several other guys worked out, and Nebraska handed out a lot of offers on Friday night. So you see it pay off. And that just leads us into this coming Friday for the second one and the biggest, official visitor list for the summer. And, like I mentioned earlier, I was down there for the softball press conference, and Nebraska was holding camps today. There was kids in line registering, and individual camps and team camps going on, and so Nebraska's in full-time camp mode right now. And this Friday night's going to be the big fireworks.
Well, before we get to this Friday coming up in 3 days, as you mentioned, 5 commits. 3 came in on the 18th. So we'll pick them off one by one. We've got a pretty familiar last name here with Jake Peters, interior offensive lineman at 6'3", 265, out of Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Yep. He's another guy that's visited here a lot and likes what Nebraska has going on. And, it's very – Cedar Falls is pretty close proximity, easy for his family to drive down for games on Saturdays. And, he's a guy that probably is going to be a center moving forward. But you like what Coach Rayola is doing right now with his offensive line. Obviously, going into this season, that's a position of need because of the numbers that they have right now on the roster. And you see that they're already reloading for next season. To go along with another guy we talked about last week, Gibson Pyle, from down in Texas that we saw 2 weeks ago. So I really do like what Coach Rayola is doing right now on the recruiting trail.
Caleb Barta is a safety out of Topeka, Kansas.
Yes.
7th rated player in the state of Kansas at 6'2", 180.
He's a very intriguing kid. If you look at his film, he's a playmaker, and he's got a good. I think he's about 6'3", about 190 or so. But he's got length to him, and he can run, and a very athletic player. And you're kind of look at what we've talked about right now. 3 commits so far we've talked about, all bordering states of Nebraska. You got Colorado, you got Kansas, you got Iowa. So you kind of see the movement that, just having a coaching change from a coach, to a coach that's not from the area. You see that they're making a large impact around this 500 mile radius that Nebraska has always kind of preached. And, same as all of the other 2 guys we talked about, very easy drive for the folks and for the family to come and watch them play on Saturdays. So, another guy that fits Matt Rule's mold. And, it looks like he could be a very effective player. I would maybe compare him a little bit to Nathan Gary, but we'll see. He looks like he's a headhunter, and that's always the kind of guy I like. And I'll look forward to seeing him play. Probably, a guy I'll probably go see play during the regular season because he's not too far away from him.
Also on the 18th, the work was not done. Linebacker out of some territory that you were traveling around here very recently. Pearland, Texas, just outside of Houston, I believe. 6'4", 190. Braylon Prude, the linebacker.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we shot him there that last night of camp. He was one of those guys I talked about last week that Evan Cooper was working out on the side. And, he's a very impressive young man, 6'5", 190-pound frame on him already, and athletic and has really good ball skills. And you saw the Nebraska coaching staff take a liking to him. Evan Cooper pulled him to the side and then told Coach Rule that he was going to offer him, and he said, go for it. And they offered him right there on the field at the conclusion of camp. So, yeah, kind of cool. And, it was funny that my boss was like, hey, pretty committed. You would see what you got on him. And I'm like, yeah, probably about a minute. And I had a minute and 11 seconds of him, which is awesome. And he's like, nobody else even has a picture of him. We took pictures of him while we were down there. And, we chatted with him, interviewed him after the camp and everything too. So, big pickup, just showing what Nebraska, their prowess down in Texas really paid off right there. So, yeah, great job by Evan Cooper. He wins it hands down for picking up that commit.
Then we had on the 19th, yesterday, North Carolina was the draw for athlete Evan Taylor, 6'3", 180. 31st rated player in the state of North Carolina out of Waxhaw, North Carolina.
Waxhaw and wax off.
That's it.
Not sure which is the difference. Must be the north side of town. But, yeah, a talented wide receiver, a guy that can run like the wind. Exactly the type of guys that Matt Rule and Marcus Satterfield want to have on their offense. And, he was here for the weekend and had a really great visit and pulled the trigger. And I think he's a guy that, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he have 16 Power 5 offers already? But yeah, he's a sought after guy. So a good pickup on the offensive side, and they're always looking for those kind of dudes.
Offers from, let's see, in the Power 5, Nebraska, Rutgers, Notre Dame, North Carolina, Duke, Boston College, and then some high group of fives, Liberty, App State, and some others.
Yeah, no, I was mistaken. I was mixing numbers up with some other players that visited here.
Because
we do want to go back and touch a little bit on that Friday Night Lights camp from last week, but didn't want to interrupt your train of thought there.
Well, before we hit on that, just wanted to track down the numbers from Evan Taylor this past high school season. Caught 38 balls, 528 in yardage, 13.9 yards per reception, 7 touchdowns.
Pretty good
for him.
Pretty good.
There it is, and he played some defense as well. All right.
Just one of those athletes that they bring in guys here, and then they evaluate them, and if they think they're better at a different position, they're going to tell them that. And these guys all know that.